So in front of me today, I have the M1 Max Studio. So this is the base model that comes with a M1 Max chip with a 10-core CPU, a 24-core GPU. You also have 512 gigs of storage with 32 gigabytes of RAM. On the top here, you have 4 Thunderbolt 4 ports, a 10 gig Ethernet port, you have your power line there, you have 2 USB-As and an HDMI with a headphone jack. And on the front here, you have 2 USB-Cs and that beautiful SD card slot. Now, my inspiration for this video is I wanted to test the M1 Max base model. Reason for it is because this is a $2,000 machine still. But for $2,000, if you're looking to really invest in a machine that's gonna last you a long time, I feel a lot of people are gonna go and swing for the M2 Max, just because it's that little bit of incremental speed difference, which don't get me wrong, I know that compounds over time, but I think that this is still more than capable for a lot of people, that you don't necessarily have to buy the newer and bigger thing. So what I want to do is use this as a usual use case for my editing. So I'm gonna go ahead and edit some A-roll, throw some color grading, do some motion graphics, do a little text on screen, just stuff that I normally do every single day, because I feel if this is more than capable of being kept up with what I have to do, then I'm pretty confident a lot of people will be able to use it as well. And for those of you that don't know, I am a professional video editor, so having a machine that keeps up with me is very important, because not only do I work on my own channel, but I work with Thomas Frank for both of our channels. We have the Thomas Frank main channel, we have the Thomas Frank Explains channel. I also work over at Nebula with the marketing team, so I have a lot of content that I have to go through there. So I need a machine that's able to keep up with me, and I feel in this use case, if it keeps up with me, it should be able to keep up with you. Now, before this video starts, if you would like to support me in any way, I would really love it if you guys can check out my video editing basics class over at Nebula. So in this class, I go over some of the basics of editing, while also touching on things like different kind of jobs that you can have, while even talking about this, stuff about your computer. Or if you're not interested in my class, you can check out the templates that Thomas Frank and I use to run the entire operation that we have. We have a creator's companion template for anybody that is a creator out there and wants to be organized throughout their production process, or you can get the ultimate brain template where it keeps you organized just of your everyday life. Feel free to check out both down below. I will leave links there. And again, that is the best way to support me. So thank you if you do. Sincerely, I appreciate it so much. All right, so let's get this big boy connected and let's get started. So first thing I'm going to do is quickly go to fast.com just to check the internet speeds here. And yes, so I am getting the full gig that I should be getting here at the studio. So that's great to see. So now the next thing I'm going to do is open up a past video that I've edited. I'm going to start editing the A-roll, and then we can see in real time what 4K editing will look like. So I will be doing some editing. I will do a little bit of effects as well, a transition, and then I'll finish it off by doing some motion graphics at the end. But all right, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this past project here, and then we'll get an example of how it goes. The last time, oh, right, yeah. I had to force quit it last time, so that's all right. Oh, that should be fine. All right, so this is already edited, but what I will do is quickly recreate a sequence, and I'll call this one. Let's rename this to just be A-roll, okay. And then this should be right here. Main content A-roll. Yep, second one. And then I'm gonna just delete everything and start from scratch. Whoops, actually I don't wanna go to color, I just wanna do some editing, but I want to do that. All right, so let's go ahead, drag in the A-roll here. Oh, there's music, okay. Okay, so even scrubbing through the timeline right now, that is pretty darn good. So let's see here. Yeah, no, that looks really good. So let's go ahead then and just start editing. So let's give that a whirl here. I have to get used to this keyboard yet again. Okay, so let's just do that. Oh, my shortcut. Why isn't my shortcut there? There you go. Okay, bring up some audio so I can listen. After being a video editor and professional video editor for over 13 years now, I've had many jobs in my life, whether that be just a lot of freelance work, or sometimes somebody only wanted to pay me $10 an hour. Check out the notions. Before we start, bring the volume down just a pinch. That's really loud, which is actually really good to know. Hey, how's it going? My name is. There's no secret. There we go. That's where I. Let me also quickly clean this up right there. It'll just make the editing a lot easier. Okay. I'm also doing this in full quality, which makes it even cooler. Okay. Okay, so for now, I will leave things right here where it goes from my talking head portion, the A raw, talking about the Notion templates and what have you, and then transitioning to the rest of the video. So I will go ahead and add a transition then. I'll also do probably a little bit more of the color grading right now too, just to get that out of the way while also testing the playback of that. And then finally, we're gonna wrap things up with doing a little more things in After Effects. What yet? I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go along. All right, let's actually do a little bit of that color grading right now. So, well, I mean, ideally, I wouldn't have done it the way I did it, but you can also color grade the master itself. So let's just do that really quick. So if I were to go to, let's say, this clip, and then you can color grade it. There you go. Because then when you color grade the main clip, you know, it applies to everything else. So yeah, let's see what that would look like here. So let's bring up the, there you go. Add back a little bit of those blues. Oops. Okay, we'll do some contrast, I guess, just a wee bit. Bring up the whites, bring a little bit down the blacks. Okay. This looks way too exposed for me. So let's go back to the main, bring that down a bit, program. Okay, something like that probably then. Which is awesome to know that you don't really have to do much sometimes. You know, you get some good lighting going, you can just get it to look good. Okay, and then I got myself centered here. I think it's like that. And then you paste it. Am I clicking this right? There you go. Yeah, I mean, the grading already is looking pretty good. I don't know. Let's just mix it up a little bit. Let's do a bit of the blues in the back here. Okay, sure, something like that. Make it a little more blue. That's way too blue. Oh no. Okay, just something like that. Just to help, look at that. Just to help the blues pop out ever so slightly more. Before, after. Yeah, I think that came out pretty cool. All right, anyway. So, okay. So now that I got the color grading out the way, so to speak, now that we have, let's see, the A roll, we have the color grading. So far, even playing back, when it comes to doing scrubbing and all that, it's looking pretty good. Now, if I go to iStatica Pro, we are seeing, let's see, out of the 32 gigs of RAM, I have about 3 used, meaning that it's using, it says right here, 12.76 gigs used. 12 and a half of that is indeed cached, which I assume is part of the whole editing process here, which is fine usually. So, all right, we're gonna keep it up then. If I continue to scrub here, let's check the activity monitor really quick. Memory used, cache, swap, physical. Okay. So if I'm just like scrubbing along, does anything change here? At least does anything change a lot? You got a little bit of a spike there, but nothing too bad. And then I'm sure it's gonna be the same concept with the CPU. Actually, playing this back, let's see what happens. Yeah, no, things are looking good. So, really quick, so far with my experience is that the editing is buttery smooth when it comes to editing this 4K footage here. Even with some color grading on top of that, you can still run things in full playback, which, trust me, a lot of people are mainly doing this with their editing. They're really just focusing on the A roll. You're gonna have your occasional B roll throw in on screen there, which I can also test as well. But overall, what I'm getting at is this is looking pretty good already. So what I'm going to do now is let's go ahead and quickly add some kind of a transition. So a pro tool here, one that we like to use to speed things up, is usually Premiere Composer. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pick a cool transition. So let's go ahead and use something like let's try a zooming out effect. Let's see. Wow, even the playback of that too is just buttery smooth, which is awesome. Okay, so now let's do one more. Let's take another one. So that one we know works well. So what if we did I don't know, something of like a TV glitch. Let's try that one out. Well, it's a lot of layers. Okay. Ooh, okay, there was a stutter there. We couldn't see that, but let's actually play back again because maybe now we got cached and maybe it'll work. Ooh, okay. Wow, this is having a hard time playing back this transition here. Is it a RAM issue? No, you should have RAM. So is this then a CPU issue? Let's see. Well, that's a little upsetting. I actually would want to see this if I was planning to use it. So if I bring down the quality, will that help? Yes, so bringing down the quality did indeed help. So now we're at a 4th quality this time. Let's see if that works. Okay, better. Now let's do half quality. Okay, so now half quality is where we're starting to lose it again. Man, okay. Well, that's a bit of a bummer because I actually would want to see that. Okay, well, I guess we found one limitation of it so far. This effect seems to be dragging it down a bit, which, you know, I get it, it happens. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and create an After Effects composition here. So let's go ahead and get a little piece of this video that I can use After Effects in, which will be actually right here for this job. All right, so when I mention the website, All right, so right here, we're gonna make this into an After Effects composition, which, wow, okay, opening After Effects was really quick, which is great. So now let me go ahead and just put this on the desktop folder, even though I already have a project file there, but I'll just call this testing for video. Okay, now the playback is also in full quality again. That's all right, that's just putting it in the RAM. All right, that came out good. So let's go ahead and quickly make a composition here. So I mentioned ytjobs.co, so let's just go ahead and create a background of some sort. You know, there are backgrounds that I could just grab really quick from Backgrounds 2 here from Animation Composer, just to speed things along. But you know what? I think creating one myself would probably be a little better. So yeah, let's just do that. So let's go ahead and create a black solid here. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and actually call that black solid. We're gonna call that background. We can duplicate it. And then we're gonna call this one, I don't know, blue, I guess, since I tend to make this one blue. So let's go ahead and just quickly give it a mask. Okay. And then I'm gonna go to the effects panel, give this a fill. And then let's do blue, since I had already called this blue. That's a nice blue right there. It's actually some of my favorite blues. And then I should be able to mess with the feathering here. Yep, so give it a nice little feather. And so far again, oh, what did I do there? And so far again, I am watching things back in full quality. So when I finish this, it would be good to see how much of this I'm actually able to watch in full quality. So, okay, so we have one layer. Let's just do one more layer now. We're gonna duplicate that one. We're gonna bring this one down more. We'll bring up the other blue. Okay, we're gonna refill this one, but this time, let's do, what'll go with it? White. Oh, that's nice. I actually like that look right there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Cool, okay. So now let's go ahead and quickly group these two in particular in the pre-comp, just because I'm going to add a turbulent displacement on here. Okay. And then let's just do, it doesn't have to be too much. It could just be a little more subtle. Change the size of that, something like that. Yeah, that's good. All right, and then let's just go ahead and give it an evolution. So from the beginning to the end here, let's just say it went like 10 times. I don't know. All right, play it back. Okay, so it's bubbling a lot, but I am able to watch this back in full quality, which is great. You always want to be able to see, especially your animations, anything you're working on in full quality, or at least half quality. You just want a nice, simple playback to really see what it is that you're doing and getting. So this is really good to see. I do want to bring it down ever so slightly. Not that it matters, but I do just for artistic reasons. Let's say right there, if that'll do it. Yeah, okay, I'll deal with that. So, all right, so now we got a background customly made here, which I'll go ahead and quickly just call this turbulent background blue. All right, and then for this one then, just to speed things along, we can use Animation Composer to bring up something. So let's say, I say that I go to ytjobs.co. I mean, I could just do something with this again. So yeah, we'll make it a little electronic spark. Let's see here. Play that back. There you go, something like that, probably in the center there. Okay. Sure. ytjobs.co. And then just to give this more intensity, since again, we are here to basically test this, let's give it a drop shadow. If it'll actually do it now that I think about it, because you sometimes have to comp things in a comp in order for it to work. I also put it on the wrong layer. So that's probably why. Okay, that'll do it. All right, so softness, ytjobs.co. We can go ahead and just bring things up bigger. Okay, I'm playing it back again in full quality. I don't actually like this static thing, so is there another cool effect I can do? I mean, there's a lot to choose from. Okay, let's do something like this. Cool little liquid, underline it. That was way too short there. Okay, and then we're gonna pre-comp this as well. The reason we're pre-comping it is so I can also give it a scale property and it'll work all nicely here, which the scale property will bring it up to like 106. It's just for a very subtle like scaling effect. There you go, something like that. I don't know, is there an icon? Sure. You go to ytjobs.co. Even though that's not even part of the branding, but we can just do that, I guess. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. Parent it to the ytjobs.co. At this point, I don't even know. I'm just kind of messing around. Okay, just to add more to it, give that also a drop shadow. I could probably just copy and paste the other one to make it simpler and actually accurate, but okay, so there you go. We have ytjobs.co. Now, if we go back to our Premiere timeline here, you will see right here it actually has been already adjusted to it. It's already been updated. So the last thing I got to do now is just add a transition, which yet again, it's just you pick a transition we want. So, yeah, I don't know. What if we just do this cool wave? And we'll go from top. So at the wave, drag that over. And then probably from right there, I would transition out of it. So that way you guys don't see any of like what I just did. And then I could probably, let's see, can I make it so both of these are, let me see, unlink. Can I just drag that over? There you go. Okay, so yeah, most of what I'm doing now is working buttery smooth. So I've been able to not only record a roll, cut it up, give it a little bit of that color grading on top, and then also I was able to bring a portion of this into After Effects to create a After Effects composition here, where it's basically just a turbulence displacement background to create a really nice gradient there. You bring in the website that I'm mentioning. I added an icon for fun. A little bit of an effect thing, put some drop shadow on there, and then you go back to Premiere and you're able to still watch this in full quality. Like, this is amazing and great performance. And all of which, if I go to like Activity Monitor or my iStatica Pro, you'll see that no matter what, the memory that it's been using, it's using it wisely. Like, I haven't ran into any playback stutters. I haven't ran into any issues where something is just eating up too much memory and I'm not able to play back something nicely. You know, it's able to do a nice balance. And that's why usually when it comes to computers also, for a lot of people, 32 gigs of RAM is always enough. It depends on, of course, your workflow and what it is that you're doing. But right here, I'm running 32 gigs, and so far my editing experience has been great. And if you yourself aren't doing anything as intensive or even more intensive than what I'm doing right now, then I don't see you running into any problems. So with that, I think I'm ready to give my final thoughts, which is to say, this has been great. Now, let me give a recap as to what just occurred in case you skipped this part of the video, but essentially, we're ending things here where I was able to not only edit my A-roll, and I was able to watch it in full playback, even when I added a nice little layer of color grading on top of that. All while I was able to bring a little portion of it into After Effects, give it a nice little effect as well, give it a nice turbulent displacement with a colorful background, put a little text on screen because that's what a lot of us do, and then you add a transition to that, and all of which, for 90% of what I threw at it, minus one static transition that I was trying out, I was able to play it back in full quality. The feeling of jumping between Premiere and After Effects was really fluid, opening programs were snappy, overall using this device was really snappy. And I think that's the beauty about the M1 chip still, even with the M1 Max, even though you have the M2 Max out there, is the fact that this is still so capable for a lot of people's workflows. And chances are this is gonna be exactly what you need as well if you have the money to do so. I think the only thing I could suggest upgrading in the future for this device, which you don't even have to upgrade the device itself for this, is to actually upgrade the storage. You know, the more 4K footage you work with, depending on how you record, you know, the more space you're gonna need, but you can always attach an external hard drive where you can get a terabyte to 2 terabytes added on top of that. And this goes from a 512 gig machine up to a terabyte and a half, or maybe even 2 terabytes. It'll all depend on your use case, but I will say this, that this has been a wonderful experience. And quite honestly, if anyone's still looking to get this, you probably should. So thank you for watching this video, and hopefully if you were interested in buying an M1 Max, this just validates your purchase. Chances are everything that this machine can handle, you probably just need to do. And remember that a lot of cases, you don't need to upgrade your devices every year. And this is a good testament that even I myself with my workflow can still happily use this device, and I think you can too. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comment section. Either me or the community can help answer your questions down below. And then feel free to follow me on Twitter. It's probably the only social media site that I would recommend you following me on, because I like to retweet jobs if I find the opportunity to do so, or if there's anything useful to the community that I'm building here, I would like to help you in any way. So feel free to follow me on Twitter for that. But thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.